Welcome back. My name's Storm Fury and this is Zero News. You know, I've still got a friend who spent the last, I'm going to say 5 years, but I think it may be actually longer than that. Probably about 7 or 8 years, but I know it's at least 5. 5 years fighting to get his daughter back. Now, my friend, he's a big guy, and when you speak to him, when you first meet him, you might get the wrong impression of him. If you're not very open-minded, the way he speaks, we live down south, and he thinks that by not speaking properly makes him sound like a Londoner. He's just not been taught very good English. He says everything's like this, like that, and do it. Yeah, and I can't even do his voice. It's just ridiculous. It's lazy. So ITV to him is IEV, but that's his whole speech pattern is the same. That's the whole thing is like that, but. So speaking to him is kind of funny, but that is probably the biggest thing about him I could pick on. But the thing is, when it comes to important things like meetings with the government, stuff like that, that's where he doesn't do so well, because, and this is what Sargon was trying to explain about some working class people, and that is they only have the tools to express themselves that they've been given, they've learned. And if something really serious happens, they will use what they know to get their point across. And it may be anger in their words, or it may be that they use more crass words. It may be the only tools that they have. It may not be, but it may be. It's worth bearing in mind. I'm not saying he done any of those things, but trying to imagine. Anyway, him and his missus at the time, wife, had a very serious bust up, and due to, I don't really know, probably it looks like phone calls made from her, their child was taken while they were split up, but it also backfired on her because she was not seen as a good mother either. So the child was taken into care. Knowing this guy as a dude, we all act weird around relationships, but I've seen him end other relationships or be at the end of other relationships, and he's never really acted like a dick. He's just wanted to get things sorted and move. And I understand that's what I'm like. So anyway, he's spent at least the last 5 years jumping through hoops. And when I say jumping through hoops, I mean jumping through hoops, having to take time off work that he's not allowed to take, to go to meetings, or he'll be seen as being in contempt of those meetings. I've seen him have to do things that no parent is normally asked to do. No normal parent is normally asked to do the things that I've seen him asked to do. He's had to go to course after course after course after course. And some of those courses are voluntary, but if you don't go to them, that gets taken into account against you. He's done, with the help of his missus, wife, who is absolutely fantastic and really very supportive. And I don't know if he would have got through it without her. He's had to continue to fight and keep doing every crazy trick that they've asked him to do. And unlike many people, he's managed to do it. Unlike many people, he's managed to keep going and managed to jump through every hoop that they've asked him to jump through. And he's not a guy that jumps through hoops for anyone except his child. And so after at least 5 years, they finally decided he could see her for a day or whatever, and then eventually they decided he could have her back under sort of certain conditions. But as time goes on, if he proves himself, then those conditions go away. So he's got her back. He's got her back in the house. And I say in the house, different lady there as the mum figure, if you wanted, of the house I'm talking about. And he has a child back that has been institutionalized, knows how the system works, knows how to play it, is a completely different child than probably she would have been otherwise. She has learned a system. She's learned the system. She's learned how to game it, but she learned how it games. She's been on the worst side of what can go wrong when the system fails you and you get sexually exploited and things like that. She's just like many girls. She's experienced all of those things. He is the one now, for her sake, and for his own, that needs to pick up the pieces and repair the damage that's been done for at least the last 5 years of her life. And again, I think it's longer, but I'm going with the minimum number. He has to try and put those pieces together. And I tell you now, he's struggling, but because of the man that he is, he's seeking advice, going above and beyond, and doing all the right things that he can do. And I think I think, fingers crossed, as of today, slowly things are beginning to work for him. Discipline being one of the hardest ones for him. Last thing he wants to do is start coming down hard on any kid that's been through what she's been through, but she knows how to game. Imagine that. Imagine that's just the tip of the iceberg. All of those layers of... You can't undo all those layers. What you can do is set out a safe environment and stuff. But the point of it is he's got all this work ahead of him, and he is having to undo the damage done by them. Now, they're quick to take children off people, but nobody is taking them to task for the damage that happens to... I don't know what the percentage is. I'd like someone to find out. But a lot of these girls end up damaged. Even if they don't, if they're lucky ones that don't get sexually assaulted, just the system itself and the way it works. And the way that they are left to think that their parents don't give a damn about them. That does damage. Now he's got to try and undo that damage. So who's doing the more damage? And they've decided that basically they were wrong, and that they shouldn't have taken the child. But that does the child no good. It does the family no good, because you can't turn the clocks back. So there should be surely more stringent rules about how they take them in the first place. You already know this. This is just one person who's not had it bad compared to a lot of people. And the reason I bring it up is it got me thinking. It's like the Unity for Our Children site is like, it's doing right, it's picking up a few more subs, it's 73 subscribers, the videos are starting to get a few more views, 54 views being the highest. It's not, I think it's the highest. It's not, for a new channel, it's not doing bad, but do you remember Kaza? And Kaza was just a person just doing random videos. We had 1,000 subs. So I'm going to put this on YouTube and on the Unity for Children channel. We had 1,000 subs over in Zero News. And we got 250 people to go to Kaz's site. 50 left, 200 stayed. I'm going to ask one more time, because I'm not going to keep on at you. But please, this Unity for Our Children site, it's hard to explain over YouTube what it is and what it means. It's not just another station where you can watch many of the subjects that you already enjoy watching on many of our channels. It is that. And you'll be seeing many of the people that you enjoy watching, myself included, because you love me. But it's also, I think, one of the biggest, especially YouTube products, but this is not on YouTube, this is on all platforms. You can find this on lots of platforms. I'm sure as they get this site up and running, they'll link all the platforms in so you can go to them, Discord and everything. I think it's the most ambitious project started from scratch by working class people to cover, rather than just one part of what's happened to our kids. As I said the other day, 250,000 to 1 million victims of grooming gangs, and then for the system taking children, what was it? I think it was, did I get it right? 86,000 in the northeast alone. And this doesn't include the white paedophile rings. All this is yet to be talked about. So this really does. This is an umbrella site, an umbrella project that covers it all. Which means, one, it's a one place to go for everything. Two, it could be the place if you've been through this, to either go and contribute to, or help, or to get some help from other people who've been through maybe what you've been through. It's a massively ambitious project, but it's one that could work. It's something, it's for a higher purpose. If there really is a higher purpose, this is it. So I would ask, especially my followers, one more time, please go and sub to Unity for Our Children, the channel. I'll link it in the video afterwards. It is, quite simply, free to press that subscribe button. Please go and do it. Give them a fighting chance. If we get them up to 250 very quickly, then I'm sure that they can hit the ground running and do the rest themselves. We'll keep getting involved. What I mean is just to get them started. The more numbers you've got, the more numbers you can get. It's just the way it is. It's a snowball effect. They really need your help. They haven't asked me to do this, by the way. I'm just looking at the numbers and thinking, yeah, they're all right, but they could be a lot better. And I know they could be, because we've done better for other people in the past. This is the most deserving cause I've been part of. So please, if you would, please go and give them a sub. And like I said, I'll link it in the video afterwards. There's so many stories like the one I've told you, and it was so much worse. And when I do interview Katie, I'm sorry, Katie, it's taken a while to get around to the interview. That's totally my fault, and I'll explain offline why. Then, you know, there's going to be a lot more stories and a lot more things. And if you've seen Chris's release tonight, if you haven't, go to tr.talk and watch the latest release from Chris, you see why this is so important. So, one more time, please go to the link that I'll provide, Unity for Our Children. It covers all the things that are happening in our countries, from the system, state, the religious sect, everything. So let's take a look at it. It's basically anything that is bad that is going on to your kids, whether it's at their school, whether it's the place that you trust to have them, you know, looked after all day, whatever it is, wherever you're placing trust in the people caring for your children, all these places are under scrutiny. And if they're great, they're great. If they're not, you need to know about it. And more. I'll leave it there, because I know I'm on a rant now. So today, for Unity for Our Children and for Zero News, I'm calling it a day for now, ladies and gentlemen.